Ciao, I'm Giuliana from Hardcore Italians, and you're watching Cooking with G. Today's special guest is none other than my big brother, Carmelo Marco.
How you doing? So today we're making, essentially, an American way to say it would be goat heart stew. Our great-grandmother came up with this recipe. It's more sort of a variation of it. But essentially, this is what's traditionally known as a peasant's dish. And our great-grandmother came up with the name patate ingrassate, meaning like potatoes and fat. Even though there's not too much fat here, it comes out a nice, thick, hearty consistency. And essentially what we have is just something that's really good any time of year, and there's a lot of good history about this, and it speaks to the culture a lot. Very specifically Sicily, you'd have goat farmers, and just farmers in general. They would take their cattle to slaughter, the goats, whatever they had at the time. They would sell all the good stuff, the sirloin, the good cuts of the meat, but they keep like the brains, the liver, the hearts, and they'd have that for their own family, because you know everyone was poor, and this is how they made the best out of the animal and made every single organ put to use properly. It actually comes out pretty good, and that's why Sicily is known for having some of the best food in the world, because we can make anything taste good. I mean, like, down to like, dandelions. Maybe we'll do that at some point, but today we got our goat heart, and we're gonna make something awesome.
Today I will be trying this recipe. As many of you guys know, I don't eat red meat anymore, but my brother's here to...
Don't worry, I'll make sure it's good.
Yeah. All right, come and show. Let's show you guys what you're gonna need for this goat heart recipe.
All right, so today we got about 1.5 pounds of goat hearts. This will work with any type of major heart like beef or pork, but I prefer goat heart because I think it's the best and most tender. We also have about 1 can of crushed tomatoes you typically get at your grocery store. We have a nice large onion, yellow or white will do just fine. 7 medium-sized potatoes. Make sure you have to skin them first, of course. We have our garlic salt, we have our Parmesan cheese, and we have some, for cooking purposes, oil, olive oil, if that matter, and then salt and pepper. Pretty simple, and it's gonna be good.
Today, to take the edge off, we have your typical Merlot spritzer. We did, the wine with like a 7-Up, a Sprite, something of that matter, threw some ice in it. This is like how we grew up drinking wine in our family, so
salute.
Salute. And don't forget that you can get any Hardcore Italians merch like this Ciao Bella shirt along with this Italian flag apron on hardcoreitalians.com. And don't forget to use my code G, literally just the letter G, for 10% off your entire purchase. Just in time for the holidays. They got a lot of new things coming out, so make sure to check it out. So what's the first thing we do? I've never made this before, so I'm learning a lot.
Okay, so the first thing you do, you gotta just, essentially just wash the hearts. You can just take like a cap full of some vinegar, pour it in some water, and leave it in the water for about 10 minutes. That's all you do.
It just cleans it?
It cleanses it, takes the blood out of the hearts, and makes it taste better overall. You don't want too much blood in the raw cooking because it takes away from the actual meat.
Next, we're peeling all of our potatoes.
And then from there, you're going to dice them up into about inch cubes. Now we just cut a whole onion, and we're gonna cut them into strips. So it's been about 10 minutes or so, 10, 12 minutes. And you can see how much darker the water is because all the blood is essentially pulled out and cleanses it with the vinegar as well.
Now we're just gonna rinse off the hearts and prepare to cut them up.
So as you can see, we have our hearts here. And essentially what we're gonna do is just trim off some of the fat, just because you don't want too much fat in there, even though it is called patate ingrassate, but whatever.
That's what I was thinking.
And then we're gonna cut them also into small little cubes.
I've been eating meat now for almost 3 years. I will say it's very, very hard to not...
Very hard.
Very hard to not eat meat in an Italian family when you eat every part of the animal like this.
Pop quiz. What song did Johnny Fontaine sing when he came to Connie's wedding in The Godfather Part 1?
Oh, Johnny Fontaine. He's like Frank Sinatra.
Like the Frank Sinatra.
In Godfather? I don't know.
He goes, I have but one heart.
Oh, yeah.
This heart I bring you.
I have but one heart to share with you.
We should probably tell our viewers where you got this goat heart, because you can't just like skip on down to your local grocery store for it.
Well, I got this from an Afghani grocery store. They have all sorts of things, and so they actually have a butcher on premise, and they save this kind of stuff. It's very popular, not just in the Italian culture, but in many cultures all over the world. They eat the heart. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start cooking the potatoes first. Those have to power cook for a little bit, and then you're gonna add the onions in. While that is getting close to being done, we're gonna have to cook the heart separately. Just let it cook in some olive oil. And then once that's all set, you'll see. We'll add everything together. It's gonna come together nice.
So we just coated the pans with olive oil, and we're putting it on a medium to high heat. Just waiting for it to warm up. Who's the older sibling?
Alright, so what you want to be doing is make sure that the potatoes don't stick to the pan too much, you know, just kind of push them around every 45 seconds or so.
Alright, so it's been about like 7 or 8 minutes, and we're gonna add in our onions.
And at the same time, we're going to start cooking the heart on this pan. So now we're going to add our garlic salt, and we're going to add our salt and pepper as well.
And you're just gonna let these cook until the potatoes really start to brown up.
Okay, so now that the potatoes have browned very nicely, what we're going to do is we're going to take our sauce and we're going to put it right inside, and you're going to see how it starts to simmer. Okay, from here, we're going to lower the flame down, and we're going to add the heart. Everything, add the entire pan right into the pan. Add the pan.
Add the pan in the pan.
Yeah.
I just filled up a can with water, and we're gonna pour it right into this pan.
That's right, fella. And from here, now we're just gonna let the pan simmer down until the water sort of evaporates away. That's probably gonna take about 45 minutes or so. And in the meantime, the process will break down the potatoes, the onions, the meat, everything, so it'll be nice stew-like consistency, good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a top on it and leave it on low heat for that 45 minutes we were talking about.
All right, you guys, the 45 minutes are up, and we're done.
This is exactly what you want it to look like. Nice, beautiful consistency, almost like a saucy consistency, but more like a stew. I hate that word. But can't wait to eat this. And honestly, some of the best way you can have it is over some nice rice or barley. You can do pasta too, that's good, but I think a little healthier way to go is barley. It's awesome. And leftover, this is way better. I mean, honestly, we won't even eat this now. I'm gonna wait until tomorrow, but
You gotta taste test it.
Yeah, well, it's gonna burn my mouth at this point.
Get another spoon. Don't use this one.
Why do we need here?
Get another spoon. We boys. Okay, eat it! Oh my god, eat it! It's good?
No.
It's hot, made you all
It's really
red.
hot, yeah. I told you it's hot, my God.
Yeah, it looks good. Too bad I can't have it. But how many goats gave their lives? 6 goats gave their lives.
I think it was 7.
7 goats?
No,
gave-
it was 6. No, I think it was 8. 8?
A lot of goats gave
lot of
their
goats.
lives for this stew. All right, guys, that's all for this episode of Cooking with G, featuring my brother, Carmelo Marco.
Sorry.
For what?
For being here. Oh!
Please let us know if you guys end up trying this recipe. It was a lot of fun to make. It took a little bit longer than my usual recipes.
Yeah,
but
a little more skill level required for this one, but
yeah, this is like skill expert.
definitely worth it. And honestly, it's kind of impressive for you young men out there trying to impress a fine lady, a fine bellezza.
Give her a piece of
your
goat's
heart. Give her your heart.
Give her your goat's
Give her your heart.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Ciao!
Ciao. All right, bye.